The Tesla Model X hit the concrete barrier at 73 miles per hour. Metal screamed. Glass exploded into 1,000 diamonds, catching the sodium lights of the Lodge freeway. The black SUV flipped once, twice, 3 times before gravity remembered its job and slammed the vehicle against the median with a sound like God's hammer on an anvil. 11:47 p.m., January 14, 2012, Detroit, Michigan. Inside the crumpled mass of what had been a $120,000 statement of wealth and environmental consciousness, a woman hung upside down in her seatbelt. Blood traced a lazy path from her hairline down her forehead, defying gravity the way her vehicle had moments before. Her designer blouse, cream silk that cost more than most people's monthly rent, was already ruined. She was alone in the car. No passengers, no witnesses, just her and the failing machine. The lithium-ion battery pack, that miracle of modern engineering that promised to save the planet, began to spark. White-hot, angry, the acrid smell of burning chemicals mixed with the metallic taste of fresh blood and the sharp bite of shattered safety glass. On the dashboard, still somehow illuminated, a digital clock counted down. 2 minutes 17 seconds until thermal runaway, until what firefighters call a Class Bravo fire, the kind that burns at 3,000 degrees and cannot be extinguished with water. 2 minutes 17 seconds until the battery pack turned the Tesla into a crematorium. Cars slowed, headlights painted the wreckage in harsh white light. Cell phones emerged from windows like a field of glowing rectangles, recording tragedy for social media consumption. Views, likes, shares, the currency of modern compassion. Nobody stopped. Nobody opened a door. Nobody ran toward the smoke and sparks and the dying woman. A 2006 F-150 pickup truck approached from the southbound lane. The driver, a young man barely 23 years old, saw the smoke. Then the sparks. Then the crowd of cars with their phones out and their conscience conveniently elsewhere. The sound hit him next, not the sound of metal on concrete or glass on asphalt. The sound underneath all that. The high-pitched whine of a battery pack compromising its integrity. The whisper before the scream. The warning before the explosion. Marcus Taylor had heard that sound before, in training, in simulations, in the nightmares that followed men home from places where fire was a weapon. He didn't think. Thinking was for people who had time. The F-150's tires left 40 feet of rubber on cold asphalt. Marcus hit the pavement running, 23 years old, fresh out of MIT, 6 months into his dream job at Tesla, still young enough to believe he could save the world with electric vehicles and good intentions. Still young enough to believe he was invincible. The crowd of phone-wielding witnesses parted without realizing they were moving. Something about the way Marcus moved made people step aside the way civilians always stepped aside for soldiers. He'd learned that in the Marines. 4 years of Force Recon before the GI Bill sent him to MIT. Someone yelled, "Don't man, it's gonna blow." Marcus didn't slow down. 70 seconds now, maybe less. He reached the Tesla, the battery pack underneath cooking itself toward ignition. No time for finesse. He grabbed his tire iron and swung hard at the driver's side window. The safety glass gave up and collapsed inward in a shower of tiny cubes. Inside, the woman's eyes fluttered, consciousness trying to claw its way back through the fog of impact and blood loss. Her lips moved, but no sound came out. Marcus reached through the window frame. The metal edges cut through his jacket, through his shirt, drew blood from his forearm. "I got you." His voice came out calm. "Training, Marine Corps training never really left. Stay with me." His fingers found the seatbelt release. He pressed harder. The mechanism fought him. 45 seconds. The battery pack sparked brighter. The smell of burning electrolyte solution got stronger. The seatbelt gave up. The woman fell into Marcus's arms with dead weight. He caught her, pulled her through the window frame. He dragged her away from the vehicle, 20 feet, 40, 60. She mumbled something. He couldn't make it out, blood in her eyes, confusion, pain. He laid her on the cold ground, as gently as urgency allowed. "Stay here, you're safe." Marcus looked back at the Tesla. The battery pack glowed orange through the cracks in the undercarriage. 23 seconds. He ran back, grabbed his jacket from where it had snagged on the door frame. Emergency supplies, first aid kit, anything that might help. 15 seconds. He sprinted back to the woman, covered her with his body, the concrete barrier between them and the inevitable. 10 seconds. The Tesla Model X's battery pack achieved thermal runaway at exactly 2 minutes and 12 seconds after impact. The explosion sounded like the end of the world. A ball of white fire 30 feet in diameter erupted from where luxury had met concrete. The concussion wave hit Marcus's back like a giant's hand. The heat washed over them in a wave that stole oxygen. Marcus kept his body over the woman until the roar became a crackle, became a hungry, consuming sound. When he finally looked up, the Tesla was gone, just a blackened skeleton, flames licking at twisted metal. The woman's eyes opened, hazel, confused, blood still tracking down her face. She looked at Marcus, really looked at him. Her lips formed words, but the sound of the fire ate them. Marcus read her lips anyway. "Thank you." EMTs arrived in a wash of red and white lights. Paramedics with equipment and training took over. One of them looked at Marcus's bleeding arm. "Sir, you're injured." "It's nothing." The woman was on a stretcher now, still conscious, still staring at Marcus like she was trying to memorize his face through the fog of pain and medication. "The man," she said to the paramedic, her voice weak, slurred. "The man who saved me, what's his name?" But Marcus was already walking back to his truck, young, believing this was just what you did. You saw someone in trouble, you helped, simple as that. He didn't give his name, didn't wait for thanks, didn't think this moment would matter 12 years later. The ambulance doors closed. The woman disappeared into medical intervention and recovery. She'd survive. Broken ribs, concussion, lacerations, but alive. She never saw Marcus's face clearly. The smoke and darkness and her own blood conspired to blur the details. She'd remember the rescue, the feeling of strong arms pulling her from fire, the calm voice saying, "I got you." But not the face, not the name. Marcus drove home, cleaned his arm, went to bed. Woke up the next morning and went to work at Tesla, designing the systems that would change the world, believing in progress, in engineering, in the future. Not knowing that future would take everything from him. Not knowing he'd see those hazel eyes again. Across the screen, white letters on black. 12 years later. ACT-1, Two Worlds. The morning sun filtered through the kitchen window of Marcus Taylor's house with the gentle insistence of every Detroit winter morning. Pale, uncertain, promising nothing but at least showing up to try. Marcus stood at the stove, spatula in hand, watching oatmeal bubble in the pot. 35 years old now. 12 years since that night on the freeway. A lifetime of change written in the lines around his eyes and the gray starting at his temples. His daughter Zoe sat at the kitchen table, 8 years old, small for her age, smart beyond her years. Daddy, why does friction make heat? Marcus smiled without turning around. Science questions before 7 a.m. This was his kid. Because molecules don't like being pushed around, they fight back. Like when Tommy Parker tried to take my juice box and I pushed him. Exactly like that, except molecules do it at the atomic level. The kitchen walls told stories. MIT diploma in the corner framed dusty. A photograph of Marcus in Marine Corps dress blues, younger, harder. Another photo of a beautiful woman holding a newborn baby. Sarah and Zoe. The last good picture before everything changed. And Zoe's artwork everywhere. Crayon drawings, science fair ribbons, a solar system mobile spinning slowly. Finished, Marcus set the bowl of oatmeal in front of Zoe, blueberries arranged in a smiley face, honey drizzled in a spiral. They ate in comfortable silence, the kind that only comes from years of shared mornings and unspoken understanding. Daddy, you're doing the staring thing again. Sorry. It's okay, I know you miss Mommy. Marcus swallowed, 8 years old and she could read him like a book. Every day, baby, but I have you, that's everything. The drive to Dixon Elementary took 15 minutes through neighborhoods that had seen better days. Houses with peeling paint and proud gardens, corner stores with bars on windows, churches on every other block. This was Detroit's East Side, not the downtown revitalization. This was the Detroit that worked 2 jobs and raised kids and fixed its own cars because paying someone else wasn't an option. Marcus's Detroit. At the school, Zoe grabbed her backpack, pink, from the dollar store, treasured like luxury. Love you, Daddy. Love you, baby girl. She ran toward the entrance, pigtails bouncing. Marcus watched until she disappeared inside, every day, because the world took things when you weren't watching. Taylor's Corner garage sat on Gratiot Avenue between a beauty supply shop and a boarded-up building. The sign out front, hand-painted in 1978, had faded from red to pink. Taylor's Corner. If we can't fix it, it's dead. 2 bays, hydraulic lifts that groan but never quit, oil stains on concrete telling 40 years of automotive history. Jimmy was already there, 62 years old, former GM assembly line worker, let go when robots became cheaper than people with mortgages. Morning, boss. Morning, Jimmy. We got Mrs. Patterson's Buick today. Yep, says it's making a funny noise. The Buick sat in Bay 1, 1998, Burgundy, 210,000 miles. The kind of car Detroit built when Detroit still built things to last. Marcus opened the hood, listened to the engine with eyes closed, hand on the engine block, feeling the vibration. Serpentine belt, 14% slippage, $40 part, 1 hour labor. Other shop told her 600. Marcus shook his head. They saw an easy mark, I see my grandma. The morning passed in rhythm. Serpentine belt replaced, oil change, brake pads, simple work, honest work. At 11:30, Marcus's phone rang, unknown number. He almost didn't answer, but something made him swipe to accept. Taylor's Corner garage. Is this Marcus Taylor? The voice was female, professional, clipped consonants that spoke of expensive education. Speaking, who's this? My name is Isabella Sinclair. I'm CEO of Sync Drive Technologies. I have a problem, Mr. Taylor, a problem that only you can solve. Marcus's grip tightened on the phone. Sync Drive, electric vehicles, everything he'd walked away from. I don't do that kind of work anymore, ma'am. Mr. Taylor, I've spent 6 months trying to reach you. My father died 6 months ago. Car accident. The vehicle's thermal management system failed. A system architecture similar to designs you worked on at Tesla. I need to know why it failed. The garage suddenly felt too small. I'm sorry for your loss, Miss Sinclair, but I can't help you. $500 an hour, just consultation, look at data, tell me what I'm missing. It's not about money. Then what is it about? Marcus closed his eyes, saw fire, saw a closed casket, saw 5 years of trying to forget. It's about knowing when to leave the past alone. Mr. Taylor, please. My father built this company from nothing. If someone caused his death, I need to know. He understood. God help him, he understood exactly. I'm sorry, Miss Sinclair, I can't help you. He ended the call. Jimmy had been pretending not to listen. Who was that? Nobody, just someone looking for someone I'm not anymore. Across town, in an office that occupied the entire 42nd floor of the Renaissance Center, Isabella Sinclair stared at her phone. 31 years old, CEO for 6 months. Her father's sudden death had thrust her into leadership she wasn't ready for. Her assistant Maria hovered in the doorway. He said no. He said no. That's the 7th engineer. They all say Marcus Taylor is the only one who might see what we're missing. Bella set the phone down with careful precision. Everything in her office was precise. Minimalist desk, one photograph of her father, view of the Detroit River. Tell me about him again. Maria consulted her tablet. Marcus Anthony Taylor, 35, born Detroit, enlisted Marines at 18, Force Recon, came home, MIT on GI Bill, mechanical engineering, graduated 2010. Tesla recruited him, worked powertrain development. By 2015, senior engineer, 3 patents, rising star. What happened? Wife died 2019. Sarah Taylor, some kind of accident, details are sealed. He quit the same week. Opened a repair shop, been there 5 years. Bella stood, walked to the window. From 42 stories up, Detroit looked almost beautiful. My father's brakes failed on September 16th. Police said maintenance error, but my father maintained that car like religion. You think someone tampered with it? I think someone wanted him to stop asking questions about thermal failures, and I think they're going to get away with it unless I prove the system was sabotaged. And you need Marcus Taylor to prove it. Maria pulled up something on her tablet. There's information. Marcus Taylor has a daughter, 8 years old, picks her up from school every day at 3:15, Dixon Elementary. Bella turned from the window. Why does that matter? Because he doesn't return calls, doesn't answer emails. He's a ghost who fixes cars and raises his kid. If you want to talk to him, you'll have to find him. Bella looked at Maria for a long moment. That feels intrusive. It is, but your father's dead. Your company's failing, and you're running out of options. Bella picked up her phone, looked at her father's photograph. Call the car. I'm going to Dixon Elementary. The collision. 3:15 p.m. came to Dixon Elementary with the reliable chaos of 200 children being released, backpacks, shouting, the particular energy of minds freed from sitting still. Marcus's F-150 sat in the pickup line 3 cars back, early like always. Movement caught his eye, a black Range Rover, expensive, new, the kind that didn't belong in this neighborhood. The driver's door opened. A woman stepped out. Marcus recognized money when he saw it. Tailored suit, heels that clicked with confidence, face that might have been pretty if it knew how to smile. She walked across the parking lot with purpose, toward Marcus's truck. He considered driving away, but Zoe would be out any minute. The woman reached his window, knocked, polite but firm. Marcus rolled it down. "Mr. Taylor, we need to talk." Her voice matched her appearance, precise, controlled. "How did you find me?" "I'm very motivated, and you're very predictable." "That's not an answer." "It's the only answer you're getting. I need 2 hours of your time, $25,000. Marcus's hand tightened on the steering wheel. 25,000, 3 months of mortgage, Zoe's winter coat and new shoes. "I told you on the phone I can't help. I'm asking you to reconsider by showing up at my daughter's school." The woman had the grace to look uncomfortable. "I'm desperate, Mr. Taylor." The school doors opened. Children poured out. Zoe appeared, laughing with another girl. "That's her," the woman's voice softened. "Your daughter." "Yeah. She's beautiful." Zoe spotted them. Her expression cycled through confusion, caution, curiosity. She approached the truck, looked at the woman through the window. "Hi." "Hi," the woman crouched to Zoe's level. "You must be Zoe." "Who are you?" "Someone who needs your dad's help." Zoe processed this, looked at the woman's expensive suit and shoes. "Are you sad?" The question caught the woman off guard. "What?" "You look sad, like Daddy looks sometimes when he thinks I'm not watching." The woman's composure cracked, just for a second. "Yeah, I am sad." "Why?" "My daddy died, and I miss him." "My mommy died too." "I know, I'm sorry." "It's okay to be sad. Daddy says feelings are just visitors. We let them visit, but we don't let them move in." The woman looked up at Marcus, something vulnerable in her eyes now. "Your daughter's very wise. She's everything I'm not." Zoe climbed into the truck, looked at both adults. "Daddy, if Miss Sad Lady needs help, you should help her. That's what Mommy would say." Marcus's throat closed. The woman stood. "I just need you to look at some data, 2 hours, that's all." Marcus looked at Zoe, at the woman, at the weight of his own history. "One condition." "Name it." "You never come to my daughter's school again. You want to talk, you come to my garage. You respect the line between my work and my family." "Deal." "Tomorrow morning, 6 a.m., Taylor's Corner Garage on Gratiot." "I'll be there." The woman walked back to her Range Rover. Marcus watched her go. Zoe tugged his sleeve. "Daddy." "Yeah, baby. I like her." "You just met her." "I know, but she's sad like you, but nice sad, not mean sad." Marcus started the truck. "What's the difference?" "Nice sad people still try. Mean sad people make everyone else sad too." They drove home through familiar streets. At dinner, Zoe talked about school, about her solar power project, about Tommy Parker and juice boxes. Marcus listened and tried not to think about thermal management systems and hazel eyes that looked familiar in a way he couldn't place. After Zoe went to bed, Marcus sat in his garage, Sarah's photograph on the workbench. "Someone wants me to investigate a thermal failure, EV system, like the one that killed you." The photograph didn't answer. $25,000, that's real money, Sarah. That's Zoe's college fund. Silence. "But it means going back, looking at the same systems, the same physics." He closed his eyes, saw the Tesla burning, saw the closed casket. "What would you want me to do?" The photograph stayed silent, but Marcus knew the answer. Sarah had been fierce about truth, about doing the right thing even when it cost something. She would tell him to help. Marcus picked up his phone, typed a message to Isabella Sinclair's number. 6 a.m., bring the thermal logs, all of them, and coffee. The reply came 30 seconds later. See you at 6, thank you. Marcus set the phone down, looked at Sarah's photograph one more time. I hope I'm doing the right thing. He turned off the garage light and went inside. Tomorrow would come whether he was ready or not. Tomorrow always did. But somewhere in the back of his mind, something nagged at him. Those hazel eyes, that face framed in blood and darkness 12 years ago, the woman he'd pulled from fire and never saw again. Could it be? No, impossible. Detroit had millions of people. Lightning didn't strike the same place twice. Marcus shook his head, pushed the thought away. Just coincidence. Had to be. 6 a.m. arrived at Taylor's Corner garage with the cold precision of every Detroit February morning. The sky hung low and gray, promising snow it might not deliver. Marcus had been there since 5:30, coffee brewing, heaters running, nervous energy. The Range Rover pulled up at 5:58. Isabella Sinclair climbed out carrying a leather laptop bag and 2 cups of coffee. She pushed through the garage door, looked around at the oil-stained floors and ancient hydraulic lifts. Good morning, Mr. Taylor. Marcus is fine. Then call me Bella. She set the coffees on his workbench. Black, strong. The barista said aggressive blend. Marcus took the cup, sipped. It was good, better than he wanted to admit. You brought the thermal logs. Bella opened her laptop. Everything, 6 months of data, field reports, diagnostics, test results. She pulled up files, rows of numbers and graphs, the digital language of machines trying to explain why they were dying. Marcus scrolled. His eyes moved with practiced efficiency, someone who'd spent years reading thermal signatures. Bella watched him work, noticed things, the way his fingers moved, confident, fast, the way his eyes narrowed at something interesting. 20 minutes passed in silence. Here, Marcus pointed at the screen. Coolant flow rate variance, Sector 4B pump. Bella leaned in, close enough to smell motor oil and soap. Our engineers said software compensation could handle variance. For 12 to 15 months, then physics wins. The pump bearing degrades, flow drops 8%, cascade thermal failure. You saw that in 20 minutes. I saw this exact pattern before. At Tesla, we recalled vehicles, cost millions but saved lives. My father didn't order a recall. Why? Marcus met her eyes. Someone told him it wasn't necessary, someone who knew better. Vanderbilt. I didn't say that. You didn't have to. Small feet running. The garage door burst open. Zoe appeared, pink jacket, backpack bouncing, Jimmy trailing behind looking apologetic. Sorry, boss, she saw the fancy car. Zoe ran to Marcus, wrapped her arms around his waist, looked up at Bella. Hi, Miss Bella. Hi, Zoe. Are you helping my daddy fix cars? Bella smiled, small, real, the first genuine smile Marcus had seen. He's helping me understand why cars break. Daddy's the smartest person in the world. He can fix anything. Marcus's throat tightened. Baby, you're supposed to be at school. Teacher conference day. Remember, you wrote it on the calendar. Marcus had forgotten. Right, yeah. Zoe looked at him with those eyes that saw too much. You forgot. Little bit. It's okay, you have a lot on your mind. She turned to Bella. Is your problem big? Very big. Daddy fixes big problems. Bella looked at Marcus, something shifting in her expression. Your daughter thinks very highly of you. She's biased. She's perceptive. Jimmy cleared his throat. Boss, you want me to take Zoe for pancakes? Marcus looked at his daughter, at the hope in her eyes. Yeah, thanks, Jimmy. Chocolate chip and orange juice. Can I get whipped cream? Don't push your luck, baby girl. Zoe kissed his cheek, grabbed Jimmy's hand, paused at the door. Miss Bella. Yes. My daddy's really good at solving mysteries. You picked the right person. Then she was gone, the garage suddenly quieter. Bella stared at the door. She's remarkable. She's everything good I ever did. You're raising her alone. 5 years now. That must be hard. Hard doesn't cover it, but you do what you have to do for them. Bella nodded, understanding passing between them. Show me more. Marcus turned back to the laptop. Show me everything. The morning dissolved into thermal curves and pressure readings. Marcus explained. Bella learned. Coffee went cold and got reheated. There's more. Bella's voice was quiet. My father's crash, police report said brake failure, maintenance error. You don't believe that? My father maintained that Merced's like religion. Every service, every check. You think someone cut the lines? Not a question. I think someone wanted him to stop asking questions. I think they killed him, and I think they'll kill me too if I get too close. Marcus looked at her, really looked at her, past the expensive clothes and CEO armor, saw the scared daughter underneath. Then we prove it, we find evidence, we make it public. How? Your father was careful. Engineers are careful. If he suspected something, he documented it. Where would he keep backup files? Bella's eyes widened. The lake house. Lake house? My father's cabin, 2 hours north. He spent more time there than the office. Said offices killed creativity. Marcus checked his watch. 9:40 a.m. Zoe's with Jimmy till 3. That gives us time. You just drop everything. Your father died because someone prioritized profit over safety. That's the same thing that killed my wife. So yeah. Bella stood, grabbed her keys. We should take my car. And costs more than my yearly salary. If someone's trying to kill you, they'll be watching for it. So we take your truck. Marcus smiled. Now you're thinking. They took the F-150. Bella had never ridden in a vehicle this old. The bench seat, manual windows, radio that only got AM and 1 FM station playing classic rock. When did you buy this? Didn't. My grandfather bought it new in 2006. Left it to me. It runs well for 18 years old. Runs perfect because I maintain it right. You respect the machine respects you back. They drove in silence. Detroit gave way to suburbs, suburbs to farmland. The sky stayed gray, but the snow never came. Tell me about her, Bella said. Your wife. Marcus's hands tightened on the steering wheel. Why? Because you loved her, she died, and now you're helping me. Loss connects us. Marcus was quiet for so long Bella thought he wouldn't answer. Sarah, his voice came out rough. We met at Tesla. She worked admin. I was engineering. I thought I was going to change the world. What changed? Reality. The understanding that good intentions don't stop lithium from burning. Tell me what happened. Marcus took a breath. This was the story he'd told maybe 5 times in 5 years, each time cutting deeper. 2019, February, new prototype, improved steering response. I designed the system myself, pushed the testing timeline because we were behind schedule. His voice cracked, he pushed through. Sarah volunteered to do the track test. We'd done dozens before, routine, but the steering linkage failed at 85 miles per hour. She hit the wall, battery pack ruptured, fire. He stopped, breathed, continued. By the time they got her out, there wasn't enough left for an open casket. I'm so sorry. She was 6 months pregnant, boy. We were going to name him Samuel after my grandfather. Bella's hand moved toward him, stopped. She didn't have the right. And you blamed yourself. I pushed the timeline, ignored safety protocols, put schedule over lives. So yeah, I blamed myself, still do. That's why you quit. That's why I ran, came back to Detroit, opened the garage, fixed other people's cars because I couldn't fix my own life. But you saved Zoe. Zoe saved me. Every morning she needs breakfast, homework help, a parent, that keeps you going. They drove another 20 miles before Bella spoke again. My father built Sink Drive from nothing. 1987, $40,000 loan, rented warehouse, dream of making cars that didn't poison the air. He succeeded. He's dead. Someone killed him because he found out they were cutting corners, stealing money. Vanderbilt. I can't prove it yet. Marcus glanced at her. Then we get proof today. The lake house sat on 3 acres of pine trees and shoreline. Small, modest, just an A-frame cabin with a workshop attached. Bella unlocked the door with shaking hands. I haven't been here since the funeral. Inside smelled like her childhood. Motor oil and wood smoke in her father's cologne. Photos covered walls. Young Bella and her father at auto shows, both smiling. He loved this place, Bella said softly. I can see why, it's honest. They found the workshop. The 1967 Mustang sat in the center, cherry red, fastback, pristine. Marcus walked around it slowly. 390 V8, original. Everything original. My father restored it when I was 8. We worked on it together every weekend for 2 years. That's a good memory. It's the best memory. Marcus ran his hand along the fender. Where would he hide something important? He used to say, if something happens to me, check the Mustang. They searched, glove box empty, under seats nothing, trunk held spare tire and tools. Where else? Marcus stood back. Where's the most protected part of any vehicle? Engine. They popped the hood. The V8 gleamed, clean, perfect, loved. Marcus's fingers traced the air filter housing, opened it. Inside, waterproof case, USB drive, leather journal. Bella's hands shook. This is my father's handwriting. They sat in the workshop. Bella opened the journal. Her father's words filled pages. She read aloud. May 2023. Thermal logs don't match field reports. Vanderbilt says variance is normal. I don't believe him. Her voice cracked. July 2023. Found it. Pump bearings. Inferior metallurgy. Vanderbilt approved supplier change in 2021. Saved $2.4 million. Will fail at 18 months. Marcus leaned forward, reading over her shoulder. August 2023. Confronted Richard V. He threatened me. Said old men have accidents. I'm backing up everything. Bella's tears fell on the page. September 2023. Brakes felt soft this morning, having mechanic check. RV knows I know. The final entry, September 15th, day before Richard Sinclair died. If you're reading this, Bella, I'm dead. Richard Vanderbilt has embezzled $87 million over 8 years. Thermal crisis is intentional. He wants company to fail. Sell to Kyantu for $200 million. He gets 15% finder's fee equals $30 million. He'll kill you too if you get close. Trust no one. Evidence on this drive. Give to FBI. I love you, Dad. Bella's control broke. She sobbed, 5 months of held grief pouring out. Marcus put his arm around her shoulders, pulled her against him, let her cry. I'm sorry, I just miss him so much. You don't have to apologize. He tried to tell me, last time we talked. He said something was wrong, I told him I'd call back. I was in a meeting, always in a meeting. You didn't know. I should have known. We're listening now, and we're going to finish what he started. A sound outside, car engine, tires on gravel. Marcus was on his feet instantly, every instinct screaming. Stay here. He moved to the window. Black sedan, a man getting out, 40-something, suit, moving with purpose. The door opened. The man walked in, saw them, smiled without warmth. Miss Sinclair, Mr. Vanderbilt would like that drive. Marcus stepped between them and Bella. You need to leave. The man pulled a gun, casual. I don't think so, the drive now. Marcus's voice went flat, dead calm. Last warning, walk away. You're the mechanic, cute. The man raised the gun. What happened next took 4 seconds. Marcus moved, the gun tracked. His left hand deflected the gun arm. His right palm drove into the man's nose. Cartilage crunched. Blood exploded. The gun fired, loud. The round buried itself in the wall. Marcus twisted the gun arm, pressure point. The weapon dropped. His foot swept the man's legs, down hard. Marcus had the gun now, pointed at the man's face. His hands weren't shaking. Who sent you? The man held his broken nose, blood pouring. What the hell are you? Someone you shouldn't have pointed a gun at. Who sent you? Vanderbilt said get the drive. Use force if necessary. Bella stood frozen, staring at Marcus. How did you? Marcus didn't take his eyes off the man. Marine Force Recon, 2003 to 2007, Special Operations. He pulled his phone, dialed. 911, what's your emergency? Armed intruder, 4270 Lakeshore Drive, suspect down, weapon secured. He hung up, looked at the bleeding man. Tell Vanderbilt we have the evidence. All of it. And if anything happens to Bella or my daughter, copies go to FBI, Detroit PD, and every media outlet in Michigan. The man nodded, miserable. Marcus turned to Bella. We need to go now. But the police will want statements. We'll take hours. We have 48 hours until your board votes. We can't waste time. He grabbed the journal and USB drive, handed them to Bella. Let's go. They ran to the truck, left the man bleeding, left the Mustang in memories. The F-150's engine roared. Marcus threw it in reverse. Gravel sprayed. Bella was shaking. You could have killed him. I didn't want to kill him. I wanted information. Where did you learn that? Iraq, Afghanistan, places where if you hesitated, you died. They drove in silence. The journal and USB drive sat between them. Thank you, Bella said quietly, for protecting me. It's what I do. No, it's who you are. Marcus glanced at her, saw something in her eyes, not just gratitude, something deeper. They made it back to Detroit by 4 p.m., picked up Zoe from Jimmy's. "Did you solve Miss Bella's mystery?" Zoe asked. "We're working on it, baby." "Good. Miss Bella looks less sad than yesterday." At the house, Bella hesitated. "I should go. You have dinner." "Stay." The word came out before Marcus could stop it. "We should review the evidence. Make a plan. You can't go home. Vanderbilt knows you have the files." "Where would I stay?" "Guest room. It's not fancy, but it's safe." Zoe piped up. "You should stay, Miss Bella. Daddy makes really good spaghetti." Bella smiled. "I wouldn't want to impose." "You're not imposing." Marcus searched for the word. "You're part of this now. Whatever happens next, we're in it together." Their eyes met, held. "Okay, I'll stay." Dinner was spaghetti and garlic bread. Zoe talked nonstop about school and science projects. Bella watched Marcus cook. The precision, the care, the way he made sure Zoe's pasta was cut right, the way he listened like every word mattered. "You're a good father," she said when Zoe went to brush her teeth. "I'm trying." "You're succeeding." After Zoe was in bed, they sat at the kitchen table. The journal and USB drive between them, coffee growing cold. "We have 2 days," Marcus said. "Board meeting Friday. We need to prove Vanderbilt's fraud. Show the thermal failure is real. Do it publicly." "How?" "We demonstrate the failure. Live, in front of the board, in front of media. Make it impossible to deny." "In 2 days. I can build a test rig by Thursday night. Scale model of your SD7 thermal system. Run it at full load. Show exactly how the pump bearing fails." Bella shook her head. "This could destroy the company." "Or save it. Transparency builds trust." "My father would do this." "I know." She looked at him. This man who'd been a stranger 3 days ago, who'd saved her life and honored her father's memory. "Why are you doing this?" "Because your father died the same way my wife did. Someone putting profit over safety. If I can stop that from happening to someone else." "You're trying to save Sarah." "I'm trying to make her death mean something." Bella's hand moved across the table, covered his. "You're a good man, Marcus Taylor." "I'm a broken man trying to do one right thing." "Maybe that's the same thing." They sat there, hands touching, the kitchen quiet. Bella pulled her hand back first. "I should sleep. Big day tomorrow." "Guest room's upstairs. Second door, towels in the bathroom." She stood, paused. "Marcus." "Yeah." "I'm glad I found you." "Me too." She climbed the stairs. The guest room door closed. Marcus looked at Sarah's photograph on the refrigerator. "I think I'm falling for her. Is that okay?" The photograph smiled back, silent. Marcus turned out the lights, checked on Zoe, went to his room. Sleep didn't come easy. Tomorrow they'd start building a test rig, building a case, building hope. ACT-2, escalation. The next 48 hours passed in motion and purpose. Marcus's personal garage became a laboratory. The test rig took shape with methodical precision. Bella learned, not just about engineering, about Marcus, about the way his hands moved with confidence, the patience he showed. Zoe helped after school, organizing tools, taking notes, drawing diagrams. "What does this part do?" Zoe pointed at the coolant reservoir. "Holds the liquid that keeps the engine from getting too hot, like drinking water when you're running at recess." Zoe absorbed it all. Bella watched Marcus not just as an engineer but as a teacher, a father. Wednesday night, 11 p.m. The test rig was half finished. Transparent coolant lines, thermal cameras, laptop displays. Bella brought coffee from the kitchen. How much longer? Tomorrow night we'll be ready. And if it doesn't work? Marcus looked up. It'll work, physics doesn't lie. Bella sat on the workbench, exhausted, scared, more alive than she'd felt in months. They worked in silence for another hour, the space between them charged with something neither wanted to name yet. Thursday morning brought threats. Vanderbilt called Bella's cell at 7 a.m. She was at Marcus's kitchen table. I hear you've been busy, playing detective with your mechanic friend. We'll see you at the board meeting. Bella, sweetheart, don't make me do something we'll both regret. Your father was stubborn too. Look how that ended. Bella's hand tightened. Are you threatening me? I'm reminding you that accidents happen, especially to little girls who spend time in dangerous garages. The line went dead. Bella's face had gone pale. Marcus saw it. What did he say? He threatened Zoe. Something cold moved behind Marcus's eyes. Then we end this tomorrow, publicly, permanently. He made a call, Marine buddy, Rodriguez. By 10 a.m., there was an armed veteran in an unmarked car outside Zoe's school. Nobody touches my daughter, nobody. Thursday night, the test rig was complete. Marcus ran diagnostics. Power it up, he said. Bella flipped the switch. The system hummed. Coolant flowed, green liquid moving, temperature sensors reading normal. Now we wait 18 minutes. That's when the bearing starts to fail. 14 minutes, temperature rising, still normal. 16 minutes, slight wobble in the pump. 18 minutes 42 seconds, the bearing began to fail. Wobble increased. Coolant flow dropped. Temperature spiked. 19 minutes 3 seconds, system shut down. Emergency protocols. There, Marcus pointed at the thermal display. Cascade thermal failure, exactly as predicted. Bella stared at the proof, at the evidence her father had been right. Will the board believe it? They'll have to. We're doing this live, in front of cameras, in front of the world. Friday morning arrived with cold sunshine. Marcus loaded the test rig. Bella made phone calls. Media, press, anyone who would witness. Zoe stayed home, Rodriguez outside, armed. Daddy, Zoe hugged him before he left. Are you scared? Little bit. That's okay. Being brave means being scared and doing it anyway. Where'd you learn that? You taught me that. Marcus knelt, held his daughter. I love you, baby girl. I love you too, Daddy. Come home safe. Always. The drive to Sync Drive headquarters felt longer than it was. Marcus and Bella didn't talk much. They'd either prove everything or lose everything. Renaissance Center, 42nd floor, executive conference room. The board was gathering, 7 members, Vanderbilt looking confident. Media setting up, Detroit Free Press, automotive news, local television. Marcus and Bella wheeled in the test rig. The board members stared with contempt. What is this? Board member Williams asked. Truth, Bella said, in mechanical form. Vanderbilt laughed. You've brought your mechanic and his science project. This is embarrassing. What's embarrassing is the $87 million you've embezzled. The room went silent, cameras swiveled. Vanderbilt's smile never wavered. That's slander. It's evidence. Bella held up the USB drive. My father's files, every wire transfer, every forged approval, every piece of your fraud. Convenient that a dead man's files suddenly appear. Convenient that my father died in a brake failure right after confronting you. Marcus stepped forward. Mr. Vanderbilt, you approved a supplier change in 2021. Chinese manufacturer, inferior pump bearings, saved $2.4 million upfront. Standard cost optimization. Criminal negligence. Those bearings fail at 18 months. You knew it. You covered it up. Vanderbilt stood, face red. This is absurd. Who are you? You're a grease monkey with delusions. Marcus's voice stayed calm. I'm the grease monkey who's about to prove everything. He turned on the test rig. System powered up. Coolant flowed, temperatures displayed, large enough for everyone to see. Watch 18 minutes. That's when your inferior bearings fail. The room watched, cameras rolling, board members leaning forward, Vanderbilt's smile wavering. 14 minutes, temperature rising. 16 minutes, pump wobbling. 18 minutes 40 seconds, bearing failure beginning. Vanderbilt lunged for the rig. Turn this off. Marcus blocked him. Truth doesn't turn off. 19 minutes, cascade failure, system shutdown, proof complete. Silence. Then chaos. Board members talking, media shouting questions, Vanderbilt backing toward the door. You can't prove I knew. Bella plugged the USB into the projector. Her father's files filled the screen. Emails, wire transfers, signatures. Richard Vanderbilt's handwriting approving inferior pumps, his signature on kickback checks, his emails planning the company's collapse. My father documented everything, Bella said. Every crime, every lie. Vanderbilt's face twisted, the mask slipping. That old fool was going to destroy everything. Years of work, millions, all because he couldn't see the bigger picture. You're confessing, Marcus pointed at cameras, on camera to murder to fraud. Vanderbilt realized too late, his own words recorded, broadcast. The door opened. FBI agents walked in, led by a woman in a dark suit. Richard Vanderbilt, you're under arrest for embezzlement, wire fraud, and conspiracy to commit murder. Vanderbilt looked at Bella, at Marcus, at the ruins. You're nobody, he spat at Marcus, a grease monkey. Marcus smiled, cold. I'm the grease monkey who ended you. They dragged Vanderbilt away, his shouting fading. The board sat in stunned silence. Media captured everything. Bella stood at the head of the table, CEO, daughter, Victor. This company was built on integrity, my father's integrity. Starting today, we rebuild on that foundation. Nobody left. Marcus started packing the test rig. His part was done. Bella caught his arm. Where are you going? Home, to my daughter, to my life. Stay, please, we need you. Marcus looked at her, at the hope. I don't belong in boardrooms. You belong wherever you choose. He looked at the test rig, at the evidence that had saved a company and avenged a good man. At Bella, at the future that scared him and called to him in equal measure. Okay, he heard himself say, okay. Bella's smile could have lit the city. And for the first time in 5 years, Marcus felt something he'd thought was dead. Hope. The morning after Richard Vanderbilt's arrest, Marcus woke to his phone exploding with notifications. Text messages, voicemails, email alerts, the digital equivalent of the world knocking on his door. He silenced the phone, looked at the clock. 6 a.m., Zoe still asleep, the house quiet except for the buzz of urgency trying to breach his walls. In the kitchen, he made coffee, the ritual that grounded him, measured grounds, filtered water, the slow drip that meant patience still mattered in a world that wanted everything now. His phone buzzed again. He ignored it. Made Zoe's breakfast, oatmeal, blueberries, honey, the same pattern that had kept them both alive through 5 years of grief. Zoe appeared in her pajamas, rubbed her eyes. "Daddy, your phone won't stop buzzing." "I know, baby." "Is it because of yesterday, the bad man going to jail?" Marcus set her bowl on the table. "Yeah, people want to talk about it." "Are you going to talk to them?" "No, I'm going to have breakfast with you, then take you to school, then go to work like always." Zoe took a bite, smiled. "Perfect. You say that every morning." "Because it's true every morning." By the time Marcus dropped Zoe at school, the news had spread like wildfire. Every major outlet ran the story: CNN, Fox Business, Wall Street Journal, a CEO's daughter exposing corruption, a mechanic solving what MIT engineers couldn't, a murder plot unraveled live on camera. It was the kind of story that made people believe in justice again. Marcus drove to his garage, found a crowd waiting: news vans, reporters, cameras. He parked in back, entered through the rear door. Jimmy was already there, coffee brewing, looking overwhelmed. "Boss, they've been here since 5 a.m., wanting statements, interviews." "Tell them we're closed for private business." "They're saying you're a hero." Marcus grabbed his coffee. "I'm a mechanic who fixed what was broken, that's all." But the world didn't see it that way. By noon, the calls became impossible to ignore, not from media, from lawyers. Chen and Associates, official representation for Sync Drive Technologies, a settlement offer for consulting services rendered. Marcus opened the letter standing in his garage bay. The number had 6 figures, more money than he'd earned in 3 years. He stared at the zeros, at what that meant: Zoe's college fund, new roof, security. His phone rang, Bella's number. He'd been avoiding her calls since yesterday, since he'd said okay in that boardroom and felt the weight of what that meant. He let it go to voicemail. The voicemail notification appeared. He didn't listen. Because hearing her voice would make him want things he'd decided were dangerous. But Bella wasn't someone who gave up easily. Tuesday afternoon, Marcus was under a Chevy Tahoe, transmission rebuild, work that let his hands move while his mind went quiet. Jimmy called from the office. "Boss, you got visitors." "Tell them we're booked." "It's not customers." Marcus rolled out, wiped his hands, walked to the office. 2 men in suits, FBI badges. "Mr. Taylor," Agent Torres extended his hand, "we need your testimony for the grand jury. Vanderbilt's lawyers are claiming your thermal analysis was fraudulent." Marcus shook his head. "It's physics, you can't fraud physics." "Nevertheless, we need you to testify, explain the engineering, make it simple for 12 civilians." "When?" "Next Tuesday, federal courthouse, 9 a.m. Marcus looked at the Tahoe, at the schedule board showing 2 weeks of backlog. "I'll be there." The third consequence arrived Wednesday. Marcus picked Zoe up from school. She climbed in with that look, the one that meant she had something to say. 3 blocks from home, she spoke. "Daddy, why don't you talk to Miss Bella anymore?" Marcus's hands tightened. "We finished the job, she doesn't need my help now." "But she calls you every day. I heard your phone." "You shouldn't be listening. You shouldn't be ignoring people who care about you." 8 years old, teaching him lessons. "It's complicated, baby." No, it's not. You like her, she likes you. That's not complicated, that's just scary. When did you get so smart? I've always been smart. You're just noticing now. Marcus pulled into the driveway, sat with the engine running. Mommy's been gone 5 years, Zoe said quietly. I think she'd want you to be happy again. How do you know what Mommy would want? Because I talk to her picture, and I think about what she was like. And Daddy, she was brave. She wouldn't want you to be scared. Marcus's throat closed. I'm not scared. Yes, you are. You're scared that if you love Miss Bella, something bad will happen, like with Mommy. That's pretty insightful for 4th grade. It's okay to be scared and do it anyway. You taught me that. Zoe climbed across the seat, hugged him. Remember, Daddy? Marcus hugged her back. Yeah, baby, I remember. That night after Zoe was asleep, Marcus finally listened to Bella's voicemails. 17 of them, spanning 3 days. The first was professional, thanking him, asking about the settlement. The second less professional, asking if he was okay. By the 5th, her voice had changed. Less CEO, more woman. Marcus, I know you're avoiding me. I understand why. But I need to know if I did something wrong. The 10th was short. Please just call me back. The 17th had been left that afternoon. Okay, I get it. You want space, I respect that. But Marcus, I need you to know something. These last 2 weeks changed me. You changed me. And whether or not you call back, I'm grateful. Her voice cracked at the end. Marcus sat in his dark living room, Sarah's picture watching from the mantel. What do I do? She's wrong for me, her world, my world, they don't fit. The photograph smiled, silent. But Zoe's right, I'm scared, because if I let myself love her and lose her. He couldn't finish. His phone sat in his hand, Bella's number right there. He set it down, walked to bed, laid awake staring at the ceiling. Thursday morning brought the 4th consequence. Marcus was making breakfast when the doorbell rang, 7 a.m. He opened the door. Bella stood on his porch, hair down, jeans, sweatshirt, no makeup, looking human. Hi. Hi, Marcus's voice came out rough. What are you doing here? You wouldn't answer my calls, so I came. It's 7 a.m. I know, I've been in my car since 6:30, working up courage. Zoe appeared, Miss Bella. She pushed past Marcus, threw her arms around Bella. Bella hugged back, surprised, the ice queen melting. Hi, sweetheart. Daddy's been sad since he stopped talking to you. Zoe, Marcus warned. It's true, you sigh a lot, and you burn dinner twice. Bella looked at Marcus over Zoe's head. Can we talk? I'm making breakfast. I can wait. It's not a good time. Marcus, her voice went firm. I drove 2 hours at 5 a.m. I'm not leaving until we talk. Zoe pulled Bella inside. You can have breakfast with us. Daddy makes really good oatmeal. Marcus wanted to protest, but Zoe had already dragged Bella to the kitchen table. He made an extra bowl, set it in front of Bella, sat with his coffee. Impossible not to look at her. She was in his kitchen, making everything feel too full. This is delicious, Bella said. It's oatmeal. It's perfect oatmeal. Zoe finished, grabbed her backpack, kissed Marcus's cheek. I'm going to brush my teeth, you two talk. She disappeared upstairs, her door closed with exaggerated loudness. Silence settled, Marcus and Bella, coffee and oatmeal, everything unsaid. Why did you walk away? Bella asked. After everything. Because it was the right thing. For who? For both of us. You're a CEO, I'm a mechanic, that's not a foundation. So you decided for both of us that it couldn't work. I decided to face reality before reality hurt us. Bella set down her spoon. You're running, like you ran from Tesla, like you run from anything that might make you feel something. I'm protecting us. You're protecting yourself. There's a difference. Marcus stood, walked to the sink, gripped the edge. My wife died because I pushed too hard, because I thought I could control things I couldn't. That wasn't your fault. It was my design, my timeline. Bella stood, walked to him, close enough to smell her shampoo. Something clean, not expensive perfume, just her. Marcus, look at me. He turned. I'm not Sarah. I'm not fragile. I'm not going to break because you let yourself care about me. You don't know that. You're right. I don't know what tomorrow brings, but I know these 2 weeks with you were the first time I've felt alive since my father died. What are you asking me? I'm asking you to try, give us a chance, not forever, just try. Marcus shook his head. I don't know how. Yes, you do. You try the same way you try with Zoe, by showing up, by being present. What if I fail? Then we fail together, but what if we don't? Footsteps on the stairs. Zoe appeared. Did you tell her yes yet, Daddy? Zoe. Because you should. Miss Bella is nice, and she makes you smile when you think I'm not looking. Bella laughed, actual laughter. Your daughter is wise. She's a troublemaker. I'm helpful, there's a difference. Marcus looked at his daughter, at Bella, at the life right in front of him. Okay. Bella's eyes widened. Okay. We try slowly, one day at a time, no promises, just trying. That's all I'm asking. Zoe cheered. Can Miss Bella come to my science fair Friday, 6 p.m.? Marcus started to say no, keep boundaries. But Bella answered first, I'd love to. They both looked at Marcus. Yeah, that's okay. The science fair was in Dixon Elementary's gymnasium. 40 projects, proud parents, kids explaining volcanoes and solar systems. Zoe's project sat in back, solar-powered phone charger, hand-built. Bella arrived at 6:15, dressed down, jeans and sweater trying to blend. Marcus introduced her to other parents, Mrs. Patterson, Jimmy and his wife, the community that had held him together. They understood this was Marcus's someone. Zoe presented to 3 judges, explained circuits and solar cells, 8 years old teaching adults. She's brilliant, Bella whispered. She gets it from her mother. She gets it from both of you. The judges awarded second place. Zoe was thrilled, showing her ribbon to everyone. I'm so proud of you, baby girl, Marcus said. Zoe hugged him, then grabbed Bella's hand. Miss Bella, did you see? Second place. You were amazing. Do you think I could be an engineer like Daddy? I think you can be anything you want. Will you teach me about your cars? Bella looked at Marcus, question in her eyes. He nodded. I'd be honored. You can visit the factory anytime. On the drive home, Zoe fell asleep, clutching her ribbon. Marcus pulled into his driveway, turned off the engine, sat with Bella. Thank you for coming. Thank you for inviting me. She loves you already. I love her too, she's extraordinary. Marcus looked at his sleeping daughter, at Bella. I'm still scared. Me too. What if I mess this up? Then we fix it, like you fix everything. She leaned across the seat, kissed him, soft, brief, a promise. Good night, Marcus. Good night, Bella. She climbed out, drove away. Marcus sat there, the taste of possibility on his lips. Okay, Sarah, I'm trying. 6 months later. 6 months moved like water, slow and fast at the same time. Marcus and Bella dated, dinners when schedules allowed, Zoe always included, movies at the Dollar Theater, walks through Belle Isle Park. Slow, careful, two people learning each other. She learned his routines. Coffee first, Zoe's breakfast non-negotiable, the garage opening at 7 sharp. He learned hers, board meetings Mondays, site visits, her need to prove herself every day. Sink drive recovered, the transparency earned trust, the thermal recall completed, 0 failures since. Stock climbed, built on truth. Marcus became chief engineering officer. Reluctantly, the board wouldn't take no. He kept the garage, worked Saturdays, kept him grounded. Vanderbilt went to trial. Marcus testified for 2 days, made thermodynamics simple for 12 people. The jury deliberated 4 hours, guilty on all counts, 15 years federal prison, restitution of $87 million. Justice not perfect, but real. Through it all, Marcus and Bella grew closer, not passionate whirlwind, the steady building of two people learning to risk again. Zoe was the bridge, the one who made them laugh, who asked questions they were afraid to ask, who loved them both fiercely. Marcus fell in love slowly, like water wearing stone, not lightning bolt, the deeper recognition of home. Bella fell harder, faster, melting into someone softer, learning to cook, attending school events, finding joy in simple things. 5 months in, she asked the question. They were at Marcus's house, Zoe asleep, coffee and quiet. Where is this going? I don't know. Where do you want it to go? I want forever. I want family. I want to wake up next to you and build a life together. Marcus was quiet, feeling the weight. I'm not easy to love. I have ghosts, a daughter who comes first, always. I know, I love all of it. You'd be taking on a ready-made family. I want that family. I want Zoe. I want you. Marcus stood, walked to the mantel, picked up Sarah's photograph. He looked at it for a long time. I need to let you go, not forget, but let go enough to move forward. He carried it upstairs, placed it in Zoe's room, on her nightstand, where their daughter could have her mother close. When he came back, Bella was standing. What did you do? I made space for you, for us. Marcus pulled a small box from his pocket, the one he'd been carrying for 3 weeks. He opened it, simple diamond ring, nothing ostentatious, just real. Marry me, not because it's perfect, but because I want to build a life with you, with all the complications and joy. Bella's hands covered her mouth, tears streaming. Yes, 1,000 times yes. He slipped the ring on her finger, kissed her with 5 months of held-back feeling. Upstairs, a door opened. Zoe appeared at the top of the stairs. Did he finally ask you? Bella laughed through tears. You knew. He's been practicing in the mirror for 2 weeks. Marcus shook his head. So much for romantic moments. Zoe ran down, threw herself into both their arms. So Miss Bella's going to be my mom now. If that's okay, Bella said. It's super okay. Can I call you Mom? I'd be honored. They stood there, 3 people becoming family. Epilogue, new beginning. The wedding happened in September. Belle Isle Park, small ceremony, 50 people. Zoe was flower girl, pink dress, serious face. Jimmy stood as best man, tears watching his boss marry the woman who changed everything. The officiant was Marcus's former Marine commander, Colonel Matthews, retired, gray, still carrying authority. Marcus Taylor was the best Marine I ever served with, not because he was fearless, but because he was afraid and served anyway. Today he makes another brave choice. Marcus stood watching Bella walk toward him, simple white dress, hair down, no armor, just a woman about to marry the man she loved. They'd written their own vows. Marcus went first. Bella, when you found me, I was hiding from pain, from possibility. You dragged me into the light, sometimes gently, sometimes by showing up at my daughter's school. Laughter. You taught me that building isn't dangerous, that love isn't betraying the past, it's honoring it by living fully. His voice cracked, steadied. I promise to fix what's broken, in cars, in systems, in hearts. I promise to always choose truth, and I promise to be the man Zoe deserves as a father, the man you deserve as a husband, the man Sarah would be proud of. He looked at Zoe. She gave thumbs up. Bella's turn. Marcus, I was frozen when we met. All ice, all armor. I'd forgotten how to be human. You didn't teach me engineering. You taught me love. You showed me that strength isn't control. It's vulnerability. That family isn't weakness. It's everything. Tears tracked down her face. I promise to be the mother Zoe deserves, not replacing Sarah, never replacing her, but loving Zoe with everything I have. I promise to honor your truth, your values, and I promise our work will always reflect the integrity you showed me. She looked at Zoe. I promise to make terrible pancakes and let you teach me, to attend every science fair, to love you like you're mine, because you are mine now. The rings exchanged. Simple gold bands inscribed with coordinates, the garage, the lake house, Belle Isle. By the power vested in me, Matthew said, I pronounce you husband and wife. Marcus, kiss your bride. He did, to cheers and applause and Zoe's finally. At the reception, Marcus danced with Bella, then Zoe, then watched them dance together. During dinner, Marcus stood. Many of you know my grandfather Vernon Hayes taught me everything. He died before seeing me become a father, before seeing me learn to stand back up. Today, Bella and I are announcing the Vernon Hayes Engineering Scholarship, $500,000, for Detroit students pursuing engineering, especially women and minorities. The criteria isn't grades, it's curiosity, integrity, and courage to tell truth when nobody wants to hear it. He looked at Zoe. Because the next great engineer might be a little girl who asks too many questions and dreams of building better worlds. Applause, tears, pride. 1 year later, Marcus stood in Sync Drive's expanded factory. The new assembly line hummed, SD9 models rolling off, 0 thermal failures. 1,200 employees, production in 3 states, but Detroit remained headquarters. His office was different, tools on shelves, photos of Zoe and Bella, Sarah's picture too, all together, past and present woven whole. His phone rang, unknown number, international. Marcus Taylor. Mr. Taylor, this is Jessica Chen from the Department of Transportation. We have a situation. Marcus leaned back. What kind? A major automaker's new EV fleet, 45,000 vehicles, battery fires, 3 deaths, NHTSA investigating but the manufacturer won't cooperate. That's tragic. I'm not sure how I can help. They're hiding data. We need someone with your expertise and integrity to investigate independently. I don't do field work. The fires are targeting minority neighborhoods, low-income areas, people who can't afford lawyers. Marcus's jaw tightened. Send me the data. There's one more thing. The manufacturer is Kaientu Motors, the Chinese company that tried to buy Sync Drive. Marcus smiled, cold. When do I leave? Friday, Shanghai. I'll need to talk to my wife. Of course. Marcus hung up, looked at the photos, his family, his life. That evening, over dinner, he told Bella and Zoe. Shanghai, Zoe's eyes went wide, like China, Shanghai. Yeah, baby. Can we go too, please? My teacher said we could do extra credit on international travel. Bella smiled. I could use a trip the board can manage. Marcus looked at his wife, his daughter. You want to investigate corporate fraud in China as a family vacation. Why not? We solved the last one together. Zoe raised her juice glass. To family adventures. Marcus and Bella raised their wine. To fixing what's broken, Marcus said. Wherever it is, Bella added. Together, Zoe finished. They clinked glasses. Outside, Detroit's lights came on. The city that had raised Marcus, that had broken him, that had given him everything that mattered. Sarah's picture watched from the shelf, smiling, approving, at peace. The ghosts were quiet, not gone, but settled, woven into the story instead of haunting it. Marcus looked at his family, at the life he'd almost been too scared to reach for. What are you thinking? Bella asked. That I'm the luckiest man alive. You earned it. We earned it. Zoe yawned. Can we watch a movie? Your choice, baby. She picked an adventure film, heroes and quests and happy endings. They cuddled on the couch, Marcus in the middle, Bella one side, Zoe the other. Halfway through, Zoe fell asleep, head on Marcus's shoulder, complete trust. She's out, Bella whispered. Always happens. Should we wake her? Not yet. They sat there, the movie playing, their daughter sleeping between them, the ordinary magic of family life. Marcus. Yeah. Thank you for being brave enough to try, for letting me in. Thank you for not giving up, for showing up at 7 a.m. when I was too stubborn. Best decision I ever made. The movie ended. Marcus carried Zoe to bed, tucked her in, kissed her forehead. Love you, baby girl. Love you, Daddy. Tell Mom I love her too. Mom, she'd started saying that 3 months ago. Marcus went back downstairs, found Bella in the kitchen, making tea. She said to tell you she loves you. Bella's eyes filled. I never thought I'd have this, family, home, love. Me neither, but here we are. Here we are. They took their tea to the porch, sat on the old swing, looked at the Detroit night. Shanghai's going to be interesting, Bella said. Yeah. Think we can solve another conspiracy. If the physics adds up, physics doesn't lie. They swung gently, the night cool, the stars hidden by city lights but out there, always out there. Tomorrow they'd start planning, flights, hotels, strategy. But tonight was for this, the quiet, the peace, the life they'd built. Marcus thought about the boy he'd been, angry, poor, joining Marines to escape, the engineer, arrogant, brilliant, the broken man after Sarah died, hiding, running. And now, husband, father, chief engineering officer, man who'd found his way back. The journey written in scars and choices and courage. "What are you thinking?" Bella asked. That truth doesn't always win fast, but it wins, and sometimes that's enough. Is that from somewhere? Just something I learned the hard way. Those lessons stick best. The swing creaked, the night deepened. Inside, Zoe slept safe. Tomorrow waited. But for now, this was enough. More than enough. Everything. Marcus Taylor had been buried under grief and fear. But he'd clawed his way back, found light, found love, found purpose. The mechanic they'd buried was gone. The man who'd risen was better, stronger, whole. And the story wasn't over. Shanghai waited, new mysteries, new chances to fix what was broken. But that, as they say, is another story. For tonight, the story ended here, on a porch in Detroit, with a family built from loss and courage. The kind of ending that's really just a beginning. The best kind there is. And somewhere in Marcus's memory, buried deep but never forgotten, a young woman with hazel eyes looked up at him through blood and smoke on a freeway 12 years ago. Had she known even then? Had some part of him recognized her when she walked into his garage? He'd never asked, she'd never said. Some mysteries were better left unsolved. Some miracles were better left unquestioned. They'd saved each other, 12 years apart, and then again when it mattered most. That was enough. That was everything.